114 days ago, I decided that I had a problem. I was so scared to say yes to Kara because then everyone was gonna know. It just holds a lot of embarrassment and a lot of shame because I'm 30 years old and I didn't know how to stop. I have been listening to KLRC for about 10 years, but I've specifically been listening to the station for 114 days nonstop. I originally moved here from Naples, Italy. I got married back in May. I have a little boy, his name is Carter, and then I have another little boy, his name is Brinkley. Then I have an adult child, my husband. He is a fireman and my best friend and my partner in crime. I would go to karaoke nights at 3 different restaurants or bar scenes and compete in competitions and just sing. Music is very, very, very attached to my heart. Liquor gives you liquid courage, or so I thought, and it just kind of became more and more of a regular routine. I understood the word alcoholism, I understood disease, but as I understood, I could give it up anytime I wanted to. And I just got into this routine of stopping every single day and picking up a bottle of vodka. I just decided to change to my preset, which was the very last one of my car station, and it was KLRC. And I was listening to Mandisa, and it distracted me, and I ended up driving straight home. I did not realize what, an impact my music I listened to, what a trigger it could be. There was just so many emotions, and it was almost too much to handle. After I got out of that withdrawal period, my marriage was easier. Listening to my children laugh it sounded like I was hearing it differently. Everything's a lot more clear. February 4th will be my 4-month mark. I was on, I believe it was 19 or day 20, just finishing, going through those withdrawals, and that obsession is still there. And that is when I had flipped through the radio station, and I was like, man, everything I'm listening to is just triggering this need, this want. I had been listening to Kara, and for a few minutes I was like, do they understand the motivation that they give I'm gonna call. And I'm stuck in traffic and I'm still heading to the liquor store and they pick up. I am, and still today, I'm so grateful for everything that you guys do. Every time that a song comes on, it's like exactly what I need to hear in that moment. And it's relating to whatever it is I'm going through. It had distracted me from the whole reason, I was still driving past my house. I wanted them to know what it meant for me, because if there wasn't a KLRC, then I wouldn't have a safe place for music. And that day, I probably wouldn't have made it to day 21.
Every day, Anson and I go into the studio and we get ready to do a show. We want so badly to make a difference and to bring people hope. But as soon as we turn off the microphones, it's kind of like, are we just talking to ourselves maybe? We're just kind of in here hanging out. Sometimes when someone calls at first, you're kind of a little bit in autopilot mode. And then as you get more into it, you're like, oh, okay, I'm listening, I'm hearing. And I remember just as the more Kara talked, I was like, man, this is profound. What in the world? This is this is an amazing person. This takes an incredible amount of bravery. I can't believe this woman trusted us enough with her story to call and share this with us. That's such an honor to be able to be a part of that. And it was like, yeah, this is what we're here for. This is what we want to do.
I had shared with Kara, my husband and I had just left the dentist, and they had told us that I had to have a full extraction of all my teeth. And it's just so hard not to be angry sometimes, but I've also learned in the last 4 months that numbing the pain or the anesthesia that I call the alcohol for me doesn't mean I'm not going to wake up and have to deal with it the next day. I feel like God continues to challenge me, and I try and remember that He's never going to give me more than I can handle. And I struggle with that sometimes, but then, the blessing You know, when I was called and Kara had asked if I'd be willing to share my story, and I was like, no one's gonna listen to me. I'm not even at 90 days yet. I felt as though that all eyes were gonna be on me. It flipped the script for me because I felt as though, like, even if my story helped one person, these are people I don't wanna let down either.
I struggle on my own with depression and anxiety and just some ongoing things that kind of feel like they just cling to you and don't let go. I do remember when Kara called and she was so transparent about her struggle. Why is it okay to struggle? It's not okay to like admit I need some extra help here. Yeah, her bravery and persistence in saying, I'm gonna get up and do this. Okay, if she can do that, I can do the next right thing. She's saying, if it helps one person, it'll be worth it. It already has. That's what we're about. Like, that's what we want at KLRC. We want to create a safe place where people feel like, I'm allowed to struggle. I'm allowed to be a human. And at the end of all that, there's hope because Jesus.
I don't know what this journey entails, and I don't know what he has planned for me, but I do know that I want to do it sober, even if that means feeling it all. For the first time in 30 years, and I'm not alone, and I don't have to do it alone, and my kids need me, and my husband needs me, and I will still be on the road to recovery. I have a disease, and the moment I forget that, the moment I become weak enough to tell myself it's okay to pick up a drink, and it's just one. This is probably the happiest I have been in 30 years. I've met some amazing accountability partners, KLRC being one of them, even if you guys are not right here. If there's not a KLRC, then I'll go right back to listening to every other station. Anything can be a trigger, and I am too new into my sobriety to let even one small thing, like a song, hinder the journey that like I'm trying to walk. I would make it so clear that it's not just an investment. You're saving lives, you're promoting God's word, you're giving the opportunity for people to have a safe place, for good, healthy, encouraging, motivating music to be played. I don't want to lose that. I don't want other people to lose that, because there are still people listening that are not in the place where I am. I will always keep fighting.